Eyewitness Sports.
Welcome to another edition of WPRI OOT. You good?
Yeah,
over
my
there?
beats went nuts on me.
Finally, the three of us back together again on the set.
How apropos on this Valentine's Day. Love is in the air.
Love is in the air. The three of us. I'm third wheeling. I'll put it that way.
Don Darrow screwed up Valentine's Day.
Look at your pink shirt.
No,
that
I
was
didn't
cute.
screw up Valentine's Day. My wife, she texted me this morning asking me to do a bunch of stuff around the house, but I was so focused on getting chocolates and flowers, I forgot to do all the stuff around the house.
And made her more mad.
And stuff.
So I didn't get the bonus points for the good chocolate and flowers and bring it to her work, but I avoided really getting in trouble because I brought the stuff to her work.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did you wear the pink on purpose?
No.
I totally forgot it was like red, pink, whatever. You're not
I
very
didn't.
festive either.
No. I was doing other things. All right. Well, guys, college basketball heating up. Getting close to March. I can smell it. Can you smell
What
it?
does March smell like?
It smells like fun.
It sounds like the CBS.
Yes. I'm going to go ahead and say that. All right, so URI PC. We'll start with URI. What is it? 16 wins in a row.
16 as of last
Undefeated
night.
in the A10. Are they going to lose another game before the big dance? Are they going to lose another game, period?
Well, that would mean they win the national championship. So that's
Hey.
a no.
Okay.
I'm saying yes. 5 more wins in the regular season, 3 in the A10, 8 in a row. That gets them to 24 straight, which is unbelievable. I have them going to the Sweet 16.
Wait a minute. What's your answer?
Yes.
Yes,
don't-
what?
Will
They
they,
don't
lose another?
They don't lose another game until the
They will
tournament.
not. It's a double nugget. They will not lose another game until
okay.
the NCAA tournament. They will lose in the NCAA tournament. I don't think they're winning the national championship. All right, AC Matthews, you both were at the game last night. Got a little scare. We've seen from them this year they can survive without him. Clearly, they're the toast of the A10. They're not just beating teams; they're beating them by double digits. No one really scares me left on their schedule. And so I think they win out. They get to the dance. They get a 4 seed. And that's what happens. I don't know. Go back to the 07 Patriots. Having a run of this length, does it put more pressure on you going into the big dance? I think this team will be fine with that. It's not like they're undefeated for the entire season. But will they start feeling the burden of this streak as we keep going? They're already going to be the 1 seed in the A10. I think they win the A10 conference. So if they lose the game, it's not the end of the world. So I don't think there is a huge burden of expectation on them. But I will pick them to run the table until the big dance.
I think they will lose a game, one game somewhere in there. There are a lot of high expectations. They have won every game they've played in conference to this point. Look, everybody, it's only a matter of time. I'm already talking about the final freaking 4. I mean, it's only a matter of time until they start looking ahead towards March, tasting the tournament, dreaming about the big dance,
Smelling.
even the A10 tournament, smelling. This team, I think, will lose once. They've played a couple close games. There's a couple close games on the road. So if E.C. Matthews is out a few games, some temporary malaise sets in as they await for the playoff situation, I think they could drop a game. I'll say yes, they will lose a game. I don't think it'll mean anything, and I do think it will put some mild additional pressure on them if they win every game going into the tournament. I think a little bit.
18 conference games and losing 0 is an unbelievable accomplishment. Regardless of how stacked that conference is that year, that is not slipping up on 18 separate occasions.
Well, here's what it'll do, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but what it will do, if they go undefeated in conference and blow through the regular season and the conference tournament, not that they won't already, but they will have the absolute attention of everybody they face in the NCAA tournament. I don't care who you're facing, Duke, whatever. Rhode Island went undefeated in the conference.
Right.
They don't lose. They haven't lost. Well, we'll see that. We'll see about that. That's what it'll get. That target will be a little bit bigger. It'll be a little bit more noteworthy that URI hasn't lost in conference all year. We'll put them in their place. I'm Duke. I'm Michigan State, whatever it is.
And I don't know if these standout seasons in the A10 always translate to deep success. I was asking on Twitter the last time teams in the A10 were ranked this high. VCU was ranked in the teens a couple years ago. I think they got bounced like round of 32. So even if you're 16th in the country, one of top 16 teams, you're not assured to get to the Sweet 16.
No, but we've seen A10 teams in the past go on huge runs and not have NBA talent up and down the roster. No NBA talent on the roster.
So I was at URI today shooting a non-basketball story.
And a basketball story.
And a basketball story, but I was there first for a non-basketball story, and I'm walking in the hallways with this amazing girl. Can't wait to tease ahead to next week, my amazing story about Taylor Ross. Anyway, I'm walking and we're talking about the basketball program, and we're talking about the win last night, and I said, you know, I wouldn't be that mad if URI loses a game. And it just as almost another fire under their butt, just to kind of light the fire so they don't get complacent. Dan Hurley walking right next to me. I'm like, oh God. He heard me. He totally heard me, and he was like, oh, okay. So that was funny. But however, after I've had some time to think about that statement, because I was nervous with the eyes of Dan Hurley on that comment, I think URI is in this position right now where they're in such a routine and they're so chemically ingrained in each other in this like winning routine, and they love winning so much. Like, I would not be surprised if they don't lose another game. Would it be a bad thing? Like you said, their target might not be as big if they go undefeated. I mean, if they don't go undefeated. So that's kind of a good thing heading into the tournament in terms of, you know, someone trying to say, oh, we'll make you lose. However, I think that we're at this point for them where they feel like they can beat anybody in the country, and I think they're gonna run the table. I think they're gonna do it. To the national championship.
It benefits
that
them.
Would be cool, though.
I'm not saying it'd be good for them to lose. I wouldn't root for them to lose.
There are pros to them losing a game.
Look, if you're Rhode Island, you're winning all your games will put a bigger target on your back when you get into the tournament. That's a fact. That would happen. Not that other teams need a target or an additional target. They want to win those tournament games anyway, but it will happen. You'll have their attention. You'll have more of their attention. And listen, nobody's going to be afraid. These big major conference teams aren't going to be afraid of the little power from the A10. That's just not what it's going to be. So, you know, I'm just saying you could argue that URI would almost be better off sneaking up on people.
Well, they need to lose. They also need to lose a game that's not a horrible loss. I don't know what that would be,
because you don't
want that to hurt your seeding.
Yeah.
You know, one bad loss in the A10 could hurt your seeding.
Maybe Dayton, but that's at home. You'd probably rather lose on the road.
Yeah. So, there you have it.
Okay.
I'm excited. Woo! Next, PC. All right, so PC kind of in the middle of the group in the Big East right now. Are they going to make the tournament? What's the verdict?
I'll go first. Of course they're going to make the tournament. PC always finds a way to make the tournament. Ed Cooley finds a way in. Ed Cooley is a politician. You just stated you think the tournament, they like Ed Cooley. The committee just likes Ed Cooley. You know what I mean?
Of course they don't.
Of course they don't.
Of course not.
But, you know, he was saying, and I think there was some method to the madness, after their loss to, forgive me, who did they just get crushed by? DePaul at home.
Bad loss.
Worst loss since 2010 at the Dunk. Ed Cooley comes out and says, yeah, you know, so-and-so was sick. Jalen Lindsey was concussed and sick. I probably shouldn't have played these guys. You know what? That's a way to petition to the committee. Well, we got crushed, but they had guys sick. They had guys not at their best. So I don't know if it'll work, but that's what he's doing. He's trying to petition, and they've had some good wins. They have Villanova on Wednesday night. That's a tough game.
That's tonight.
That's right.
But, you know, I don't think at the end of the day, at the end of the regular season and Big East tournament, they'll find a way to be left out. I think they find a way in, as we've seen in the recent years.
Sorry to interrupt you. If that DePaul loss ignites them for whatever reason, and they just come out on fire tonight, and this is their chance to beat a really, 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 really good team to bid their case. If they beat Nova tonight, they're in, right?
They've already beaten Xavier.
If they beat Xavier,
so they have two
they beat Creighton?
opportunities.
Did they beat Creighton?
They beat Creighton earlier in the year.
Earlier in the year at home.
I think
they won at
Nova
Creighton
tonight.
too.
They have Xavier later in the year. Two opportunities are top 5 wins. Those are wins that can almost get you in. They've beaten top 5 teams in recent memory. They went to Villanova and won a couple years ago. As you said, and I'm going to watch them tonight. I want to see them with my own eyeballs because I've been watching them mostly on TV recently, how they look. But they always figure out a way.
They always figure out a way.
For whatever reason, they have ruts. They come back. They win. They just always get in. Whether or not that's a run in the Big East, whether or not it's winning 4 of their last 6 or 5 of their last 7, I think they're going to get in because Ed Cooley doesn't allow his team to slip and snowball into a long period of losing. So I think they're going to get in. I think we have 2 teams getting back in. They're right on the bubble. It's going to be close.
I mean, look what happened last week? They snatched victory from the jaws of defeat against both Marquette on the road and then Georgetown. I mean, those are huge wins when you consider they got crushed by DePaul after that. Now they're facing Villanova. You lose all those games in a row.
Has gotten 6-7 teams out of 10.
Yeah.
So if you're 4th, 5th, 6th in that range,
they'll find a way, and they'll find a way to persevere, mentally strong.
Their inconsistency worries me. Just that they can very inconsistent. They have big wins and then they blow 20-point game to Paul. It's just I'm still, there was at the beginning of the season there was a lack of identity with this team. We felt like they kind of found it for a little stretch, and then they've had kind of a rough stretch. Hopefully it's just there was the flu running through that locker room. Jalen Lindsey is hopefully going to be back soon, so hopefully they can get into a rhythm. I feel like injury has played a part in that.
Kyron Cartwright, as we saw way back against URI and in other games, he's a really good player. But there's times where I wonder to myself, like, how does he even score ever? Like, he just looks so bad. But then he'll have another game where he's great.
I'll say this about PC in relation to URI. Big East, you're getting such a bigger challenge every night that by nature you're going to be inconsistent. No one, unless you're Xavier or Villanova, you're going to end up being 10-8 or 9-9.
That's a good point.
Whereas URI, generally speaking, the competition
doesn't run the table in the Atlantic.
Let me say this, that PC has the talent to be a tournament, 100% has the talent to be a tournament team. Whether they can gel together and find the right mix. Who I do love, that I want to see continue to do super well, is Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson? Jackson. Yeah, I really enjoyed watching him kind of flourish throughout the season. He's one player that I feel like I've really watched grow into a dominant player.
They'll find a way in.
They'll find a way in. I think they're in. All right, switching gears to the NBA, staying on basketball. I just saw in person the C's get blown out by the new face Cavaliers. Who wins that game in the playoffs?
Cavaliers,
Celtics or the
they
Cavs?
have LeBron James. Nothing else matters. You can put Tony, our intern over here, Luke, you and Mark out there with LeBron James. I got to tell you, the warning signs have not been good with the Celtics of late. They got out to that fast start. Everyone who's talking about Gordon Hayward potentially coming back, I think that's a bunch of baloney. I'm officially worried about the Celtics. Jason Tatum played 1 year of college, 30 games. What are they into the regular season now? I think he's running out of gas a little bit.
Well, he's never been the same since he hurt his finger.
Since he hurt his finger, his statistics, his shooting has gone way down. And there was one play Sunday where LeBron James took Kyrie off the dribble and just manned him up and scored at the hoop. And I was like, LeBron can do that whenever he wants. The Cavaliers are still the team to beat. I will think that now. I'll think that into June. I think it'll be a series, but I think right now the Cavs are the team to beat. And the Celtics are right there with Toronto, 2-3. But I'm a little worried about the Celtics' long-term playoff goals right now.
I'll be interested to see what happens after the All-Star break. Hopefully that gives everyone some time to kind of recover. Because there are so many young guys on the Celtics team, that recovery time is needed. In terms of Jason Tatum, he needs to have some time to literally just chill. I think I talked to him in the locker room at that game, and he told me he's very much looking forward to going home, St. Louis, from the Lou, and I'm proud.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me that he's really looking forward to that, and it was almost an undertone of, holy cow, I need a break. So I think it'll be interesting to see how they play. You always want to see how MLB teams do after the All-Star break. I think there could be a new fire. Also, this new Cavaliers team they played 2 games?
Yeah.
They played 2 games. So let's just all calm down because they could face issues that we've been seeing that are deeper rooted within the Cavs organization. We'll see how they gel.
What's going on with the Celtics? Defensively, they used to be great, and
Yeah.
All right, couple things. First of all, I think, now we saw the long winning streak earlier in the season. Now I think that it is fair to say, I don't know if they're qualified to have this happen, but it is fair to say, I would say, that the Celtics have experienced a little bit of, a malaise, the dog days of the NBA season. I mean, they went on a torrid run earlier in the year. Won how many in a row? Was it 20? I forget what it was, 20-something in a row. And then, 17? They come back to earth, which we knew what would happen. And since then, they've been good. They haven't been amazing. I mean, that was amazing earlier in the season. So I'm not going to write them off just yet. Not yet. Do I have some concerns? You mentioned about Jason Tatum. He's not as, he's slowed down a little bit. The nagging injuries, fine. yes, I have some concerns. But let's not forget, this team still was elite defensively and can be elite defensively. Marcus Smart hasn't played because he's an idiot. So,
True.
I think that this team, we shouldn't just discard what we've seen earlier in the season. They can still get to that level. The other thing I'm going to say about Cleveland, okay? These new look Cavs, everybody's on a high. They're the darlings of the NBA right now because they traded for, who did they trade for? Oh yeah, Larry Nance Jr., some guy named Jordan Clarkson. Do I have his name right, Ruth?
Jordan Clarkson.
Okay, and Rodney Hood, who I remember covering in Mississippi at Mississippi State. He's a stiff. Good player, but he's a stiff. So they traded for those three guys. Now, yes, they got rid of a lot. So if you want to make the parallel, like, hey, the Red Sox got rid of Carl Crawford and Adrian Gonzalez and whoever else was in that trade, addition by subtraction, fine. But I'm sorry, don't the Warriors still have 4 superstars? Also, isn't that what the NBA is about, superstars? Mm-hmm. So are you really going to tell me that Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson and Rodney Hood put the Cavs over the top just because they have LeBron? No.
It's interchangeable. Yeah. Isaiah, Larry Clark, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, okay. But the theme of what I'm trying to say...
They still have Kevin Love.
Fine. Fine. The theme of what I'm trying to say is that the Celtics had a chance to beat the Cavs. I probably still would have picked the Cavs, even with, like you said, it doesn't matter. Even with Wade and Thomas, I probably still would have picked the Cavs come May. They had a chance to beat them when they had that team. I still think the Celtics have a chance to beat them with this team. Larry Nance and Jordan Clarkson and Hood do not strike fear in my heart. Now they're good. I'll keep watching.
But they need to beat the Celtics. That team's not beating the Warriors.
They're not beating the Warriors.
They have to beat the Celtics.
Well, the narrative has been, ooh, they're closer now, and they separated from the Celtics. Maybe. I'm not sure.
But LeBron teams are inherently streaky. They have issues. They go on Instagram. They post about it. They win. They have losing streaks. They win.
Go on Instagram.
It's almost like LeBron gets bored with whatever's going on.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. All I know, and I think I heard somebody else make this point. All I know is the Celtics have been playing. They've been playing. They've been playing. They've played, I think, more games than anyone in the NBA, like 58 games. And now they're tired. Jason Tatum wants to go home. He wants to lose. So I think that the Cavs they broke up with their girlfriend on Valentine's Day here. And they got a few new girls into the party, and everybody's excited. So I think that's why they're on. It's a new relationship. So they're on a high. They're in the honeymoon period. Let's see what happens when this group, encounters some adversity. Larry Nance Jr.
No one thinks those guys are.
Well, everybody's talking like they did. I saw an article today. What an amazing, the greatest, the most shocking trade deadline deal of all time. Larry Nance Jr.
This is his.
Who is Larry Nance Jr.?
Well, if he was Larry Nance,
was he a running back?
No, he was a basketball player. Yeah.
This is your Nick Foles voice. Nick Foles is going to beat Tom Brady.
You could have been more wrong than that. We were all wrong. I think we got to move the pace up.
All right.
All
right.
5 and 6.
Hockey, little puck. How far can the Bruins go? How far can they go, Mark? Sorry, did you want a breather after that?
No.
Okay.
They're a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. Is that the question? How far can the Bruins go?
Yeah, how far can they go?
Think of one, so this
they're
is
a
what we came
legitimate
up
Stanley
with.
Cup contender. I'm pretty sure I just answered this not long ago. Tuukka Rask. Tuukka Rask will not allow them to win the Stanley Cup. Tuukka Rask is incapable of winning the Stanley Cup. He is incapable of leading this team to a Stanley Cup championship. I don't believe in Tuukka. I don't believe in him. The defense is good. The defense isn't amazing. But I just think goaltending, defense in the playoffs is too important. The one thing I will say, which gives Bruins fans gives me some hope, Anton Khudobin arguably was at the head of the table in terms of the turnaround. Because remember, it took the Bruins about a month and a half just to win back-to-back games this year. Khudobin goes in, they light a spark under him. He lights a spark under the team. They start winning. They start playing with some confidence. He was the one that did that. Then Rask comes back and plays better. Looks really good. Feels some of the heat. Maybe a Jimmy G, Tom Brady situation.
You think if they get into the playoffs that Cassidy would pull Tuukka
and
put in?
No, I don't. I think the chance that I'm kind of alluding to is that maybe Tuukka. Let's just say this. A few years ago, the Bruins had to win a regular season, the last regular season game to get into the playoffs.
He was sick.
Tuukka coming out of both ends. Couldn't play. I think if that happens now, he's playing. Because he doesn't want Khudobin to go in there because he knows one start or one good game from Anton, he might never see the ice again. He might never see the ice again. I'm talking about Tuukka. So if that's the case, I think his antenna is up. I think he feels the heat, and if he can elevate his game, and maybe it makes him a little more mentally tough.
I don't know why you're so bullish on Tuukka.
I don't like him.
I know you don't like him.
I think he's mentally weak.
Who know much more about hockey than I am, talking about him getting is it the Vezina for the best goaltender?
Yeah.
He's in contention to get the best goaltender award.
Okay, that's fine. But Peyton Manning was always the best quarterback. How did he do in the Super Bowl?
You're just saying in crunch time
I don't
situation.
think when the pressure is at its highest,
right, we know that.
he caves.
Right. All right,
What's the
but
three
you would
P's
agree
down his leg?
the Bruins' top line
What's
is as good or better than everyone in the league right now?
Yeah, David
up
Pastrnak can stay in the top line and not be an idiot and be emotional and get bad penalties. But yeah, he's been their top.
And they're getting production on.
Look, had the
NHL
NHL had players in the Olympics, you could have argued that Marchand and Bergeron would have been the top line for Team Canada,
right?
Not just the Bruins.
And the answer, I hope, is past the first round, where they haven't gotten out of since 2013. Have they gotten past the first round since 2013? Is that the year they lost to Chicago?
They won a round. I think they have won one round. They beat the Red Wings in a round.
In 14 and lost to the Rangers, something like that. I'll say the second round for now. That's how far they can go.
Okay.
Good what do we got next?
All right.
I'll take that one.
Sucks.
Spring training. Who is excited?
I am.
I am. Pitchers and catchers.
I don't want to hear David Price talk.
All right, listen, anyone who's saying it's truck day the day after the Super Bowl,
I
wanted to destroy those people. We need to mourn the Super Bowl for a week. I couldn't think about anything else. You mourn. This week, I'm seeing the sunny days down in Boston. What's that face? All the beat reporters tweeting out about it's 85 in Fort Myers. And I got a little romantic about it.
Yeah.
I was kind of digging it.
Did you get romantic?
I got the winter blues here in New England.
What about the old baseball cards?
Baseball is coming back.
It's kind of nice out. The sun's out. It's like,
sun's
ooh.
out. All right, listen, I think it was a big step yesterday that David Price came out and said I could have handled things better. A mea culpa that he needed to establish because you are persona non grata in this town, especially with the media. And you did a hell of a job in the playoffs coming out of the bullpen. So if you can be the 1A to Chris Sale's 1, all is forgotten. Well, maybe not all, but we're moving in the right direction. I like what I see out of Alex Cora. I mean, I've never seen him manage a game because he hasn't done that yet. I don't know how he's going to do on the double switch in the 7th or 8th inning, but he seems like the players like him so far. Benny Biceps is all jacked up. Hopefully, I don't know if he's going to just be popping. We don't know what's going on with Devers, but there's a lot of intriguing storylines right now for the Red Sox. So if you asked me this question a week ago, I would have said, baseball, But now I'm starting to get excited. I'm like a 6.5 on the excitement level. When they play Northeastern or Boston College and we see game action, I'll be ready to rock.
Ruth?
Oh, I love baseball. Baseball's
baseball
like
girl.
Baseball gets my heart all in butterflies. Red Sox aside, I just love baseball. I wasn't really so into like the hot stove this summer. Like I just
there's been no hot stove.
Yeah,
Nothing's happened.
Nothing happened. So just the talk of spring training, the Red Sox back on my Instagram feed. They're like it's sunshine. The Cardinals too, obviously. I'm like so excited. But I just love baseball season, summer, spring.
Okay.
Fired up.
I'm mildly interested in this JD Martinez saga. I mean,
can it end already, please?
Okay. Here's what I'll say. This might be the worst thing I've ever said on this show. This is doing our company no favors. This is our doing.
Everyone, hold on.
So, am I excited for baseball season? I am excited for baseball games. I am not at all excited for the hoopla, the drama, basically, anytime I hear from a Red Sox player, I'm not excited about that. I don't want to hear talking. I don't want to see video of it. I want to play games. I want to see games. So, yes, I'm excited for the games. Do I want to hear about Chris Sale and him talk about how all the pieces seem to fit together and we're in a good place? Do I want to hear from David Price? Absolutely not. Just write down what you want to say. I don't want to hear his voice. I don't want to hear from him.
His voice is one of the top 5 worst voices ever.
I don't want to hear from him. I don't want to hear.
Frog.
I'm sick of mentally. I'm sick of using energy thinking about his drama. David Price.
You experienced it firsthand.
Why are baseball players so emotional and high maintenance? I just can't deal with that.
I don't want to hear from Dustin Pedroia. I don't want to hear about Benny Biceps. I don't want to hear anything.
You don't want to talk about the haircut?
I'm sick of trying to figure out, is this team likable? I am sick of all the drama associated with the Red Sox. I want them to be a Legion team. Just no media. Just shut up. You play baseball, you go home. You play baseball, you go home. I don't want anything surrounding the Red Sox. Which is tough because we put it in our newscast every night.
Our top story, Red Sox in Baltimore.
And we had sound yesterday. But that, I don't want to hear about that. We talk too much.
It's like the balls. It's like the Lonzo balls. It's like, stop giving them attention and then it won't annoy everyone. The Ball family.
They were just particularly insufferable last year.
Hey, let's make them likable. Maybe you'll like them. Allow yourself to like them.
This Alex Cora, when I went to Alex Cora's introduction, this man is likable. He's likable. Young. Yeah. He's spunky. He's got an edge to him. He wants to play music in the locker room. Let's party.
I don't think you can understate how important it is to the Latin players in the locker room to speak their language. I think that's a big thing.
Sure.
I love yesterday, by the way, quickly, David Price still is calling John Farrell Manager John. Like, just poking the bear.
Kicking the dead horse.
John Wayne.
All right, last
that's
question.
Something I don't want to talk about. Why is he doing that? That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, we're not talking about
Last question.
Last question. I was just at the Paul Pierce retirement. It was jersey retirement. It was so emotional. I was so happy we were there. It was one of the best things. Luke was there, our intern. We had a ball. Who is the next Boston athlete to get their number retired?
This is a great question.
I didn't have time to think about this.
Thought into this. I am going to say Kevin Garnett.
KG. He was there.
The Celtics don't have a decorated and storied history, but 23 players is a little much. Guys are in like Cedric Maxwell, some others who I'm not coming to the top of my head right now, who maybe don't deserve to be in. Unlike the Red Sox, as a kid growing up, they had 4 players. It was Yastrzemski, it was Ted Williams, it was Bobby Doerr, and Joe Cronin. And then all of a sudden, with the new Red Sox management, Wade Boggs is in, Jim Rice is in, Carlton Fisk is in. Obviously, Pedro, I think, deserves to be in there, and Ortiz. I'm going to say Garnett, because he's been retired for a little while. Because when you look at the other teams, if you look at Patriots, they don't really retire numbers, but they put people in their Hall of Fame. So I don't know if that would be akin to that. We'd have to figure that out prior to this discussion. Bruins, Bergeron, Chara, Marchand, maybe those guys eventually get in. They're still playing. And then Red Sox, after Ortiz, there's a big gap until maybe Pedroia would be considered, but I don't think he's worthy. So I think it's Garnett, kind of by default, even though he only played 6 years here.
Well, I figured Garnett is the obvious answer. I will say my answer was going to be Dustin Pedroia, just because, I mean, I don't necessarily agree that he's not worthy. Why wouldn't he be worthy? He helped them win 2 World Series. He won an MVP. How many All-Star games played in a World Baseball Classic? That's not worthy.
First off, the baseball classics. Okay. Why are you so hung up on baseball classics and Olympic appearances? Well, that has nothing to do with their performance in the league.
Okay, fine. Take that away. MVP, 2 World Series titles, an integral part of those World Series teams.
You should not be having a number of titles unless you're a Hall of Famer. No way is Dustin Pedroia a Hall of Famer. No, you think he's a Hall of Famer?
I didn't say he was a Hall of Famer.
No, I agree with you on. I agree with you on your argument.
Overrated. He's a dirt dog. He tries hard. He won an MVP. What are his statistics? He doesn't bat 300. He doesn't. I'm not a nerd into the OPS, WARs, and all those.
Well, he doesn't bat 300 stats. Now. He did bat 300. He'll play his entire career for the Red Sox.
Player. He's not Craig Biggio, who doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Craig Biggio doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame?
I don't think so.
With 3,000 hits?
Why is everyone a slave to 3,000 hits? He was an accumulator. He's an accumulator. 20 years, you get 3,000 hits if you do the math.
Okay, so all of a sudden longevity isn't an accomplishment?
You watched Craig Biggio and said that man's a Hall of Famer in real time?
You are an absolute idiot.
Craig Biggio?
He had 3,000 hits. He was a huge part of the team.
Can we hold off on the name calling?
What makes you a Hall of Famer?
You say that name, Hall of Famer. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to look at I don't want to dive into the minutia of his stats. You need to know. But that's I have a high standard for my Hall of Famer.
So, Yanni, we'll just do that.
Jeff Bagwell's not a Hall of Famer.
Here's what we'll do. From now on, there will be no second, third, fourth, fifth ballot. It'll be one ballot, and you're either in or you're out, and that's that. One ballot, one chance, that's out.
So I was the biggest baseball fan, 90s into the 2000s. You give me a player's name, and I should know right away Hall of Famer.
Well, I'm just saying.
Biggio's not one of them. Jeff Bagwell's not one of them. Who got in last year? Not Robin Ventura. Alan Trammell.
Mike Piazza?
Hall of Famer.
Why? What did he do? What were his numbers?
We are so far off from the question that was asked.
What were his milestones?
He was the predominant power. He revolutionized the catcher position. It became a power position because of him.
Okay.
I mean, he was probably roided out of his mind with his frosted tips.
to say,
All right,
the fact that you were able to play that long in the major leagues and accumulate 3,000, is Ichiro a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Why? Why is he?
Ichiro was a top 10 player every year. Is Dustin Pedroia a top 10?
All Ichiro did was get hits. That's it. That's the only thing he did.
He stole bases.
So you're going to put him in on his arm from the outfield?
All right.
No,
Can you answer your
that
question?
is a key
You think
milestone.
Pedroia is a Hall of Famer?
It's your question.
No, I don't.
Okay.
But I think I think he
gonna
can
get
have
his
his
number
number retired by the Red Sox. That's the question.
Hold on. Do the Red Sox have a
That is
person
the
whose
question.
number is retired who's not in the Hall of Fame?
That was how we strayed away because
I'm
Yanni said
just
that
telling
he
you my
doesn't
opinion.
think someone should have their number retired unless they're a Hall of
Okay,
Famer.
I just cannot envision a scenario where, I mean, he'll have it. Francona will have his back. Farrell, I think, will have his back. I can't envision a scenario where if he plays his entire career
right.
with the Red Sox,
You know why?
they're going to say, you know what, we're good, Dustin, you're
You
not
know
going
why?
in.
Because when you look back at this span, 04 to 13, 3 World Series, you need a few guys to represent that era. So it's Ortiz, it's Pedro,
Yeah.
and I guess it could be
He's
Pedroia.
definitely going in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
But he
definitely.
gets in because of the World Series.
All right, I think
Who is the next Boston athlete to get his number retired?
Yeah, the Red
I
Sox
don't
have
care
gotten
what the
soft on that stuff. Like the Celtics, I think, are a little bit soft. And the Patriots.
Did you
Everyone
just
just
say,
wants
did
to
you
throw
just say
a
that
party.
they've gotten soft, the Red Sox?
Yeah.
So why is it such a shock that he'd have his number retired? Exactly.
All right, so maybe I'm saying it's not deserved.
Oh, I don't care. That's not the question.
All right.
The question
All
is
right,
who
Dustin
would
Pedroia.
it be?
All right.
Dustin Pedroia, his
You're
entire career, MVP. How many MVPs? I will say Mo Vaughn doesn't have his
should
number
the Red
retired.
Sox retire Dustin Pedroia's number when he retires?
Never.
Mike Monacovo, Yankee fan, says never. I agree with you. Is he a Hall of Famer?
He is not a Hall of Famer.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Look, Mo Vaughn was an MVP, but he didn't lead them to any World Series
Right.
titles.
I know.
I mean, he was the face of the team for a while.
He won't get his number retired.
No, he won't.
All right,
All right, we gotta go,
Mike's in
guys.
here.
Mike Monacovo's in here.
He'll
and he's
definitely
ready
be a
for
Red
the
Sox
5
Hall
o'clock
of Famer.
newscast. All right, thank you so much for watching this latest edition of WPRI OOT. You can catch all of our episodes online or on iTunes. So check us out. It's a lot more of Mark and Yanni screaming at each other.
3,000 hits. You are an idiot.
All right, we'll talk to you next time.